Before we get into the specific way that Modbus memory is arranged, there are a few basic concepts about electronic memory in general that we must cover. That is what this lecture is about. Here's a picture of a flash drive. Most likely you own a flash drive or have at least used one. They call it a flash drive because the memory in it is called flash memory. You can store all types of data on a flash drive. Data stored in flash memory or any other type of computer memory is stored in what we will call blocks or memory blocks for the purposes of this discussion. Now here's where I want to make a very important distinction, and the distinction is between two terms that have to do with a memory block. These terms are memory address and memory value. Let me explain. Every memory block has a memory address and a memory value. The memory address is a number attached to the memory block that allows that block to be uniquely identified and also found very rapidly. The memory value, on the other hand, is the actual value that is stored in the memory block. You must ensure that you completely understand the difference between these two concepts if you are to understand Modbus. Okay, so let's illustrate this concept more clearly with an example. Let's say that we have a PLC, which is a programmable logic controller with 4 analog inputs. Now all PLCs have a microprocessor, they have memory, right? This may be random access memory RAM or flash memory, but they do have memory, and this memory is divided up into memory blocks, and different types of data are stored. Program data, IO data, what you call internal register data, all this sort of thing. But no matter how or what is stored, what you have inside of there are memory blocks. All the memory is divided up into these blocks. So we're going to illustrate the memory block concept and address and value using a PLC, but it happens again and again the same way in all types of devices. So again, let's say we have this PLC. It has 8 analog inputs. Onto analog input 1, let's say we connect a pressure sensor, sometimes called a pressure transmitter. Now within the documentation of the PLC, it says that whatever value is read from analog input number 1 is stored in memory address 100. This means that there is a memory block amongst the thousands of memory blocks in the PLC that has address 100 that stores the value of the reading of analog input 1. So if we were to visualize it, this is what it would look like. There's this memory block designated by the red rectangle, and attached to it is this number 100. That's the address of the memory block. Now let's say that the pressure reading is 32 psi. That 32 is called the memory value because it's going to end up in the memory block according to the PLC documentation. Whatever this pressure sensor reads on analog input 1 will end up there. Now suppose the pressure increases and the new reading is 56 psi. That means that will change to 56. The new memory value will be 56. Note that the memory address is not changed. The data is still put in the same location, but rather the memory value has changed. Understanding the difference between memory address and value is essential to understanding the Modbus protocol. So please ensure that you understand this before moving on.